scene is amazing. Sig, you better get things right. Oh, come on. Hey, can you turn that down? I feel like my eardrums are gonna explode and I'm sitting in the other room. Oh, sure, sorry. I was about done with an episode anyway. Oh, what are you watching? Fate Apocrypha. Fate? Oh, yeah. I'd love someone to talk about this with. Wanna check it out? Well, I'll try it at least. Really? Yay! Hope you enjoy! Thanks, I think I will. You're not just saying that to make me feel better, are you? Oh no, of course not. You better not. Well, time to watch the show, I guess. Hey, this isn't too bad. A little exposition heavy and the sound design is really whack, but the animation's pretty and some characters aren't half bad. Let's see how this goes. Is this it? I don't know exactly what's going on anymore. Servants fighting each other is cool, but oh man, how much more of the season is left? Fangirl! I can't believe
okay, Critic,
calm down. What is
on.
it? So, you didn't like it, huh? No, I didn't. It sucked. Why? For every reason imaginable. Well, I think you're wrong. How could I be wrong? How could you not see all the problems that make the show an undeniable dumpster fire? Well, I don't understand what makes you think this amazing show is a dumpster fire. And you should calm down. Okay, I'll calm down. I'm still mad I listened to you, though. Well, maybe we should explain ourselves. I did want to discuss this show after all, so let's do that. Okay, sure. So, why do you like Fate Apocrypha so much? I think it's an action-packed, exciting experience. It's everything I've ever wanted out of a Fate series. The servants actually spend more time than a few minutes fighting each other, and it isn't always broken up by pretentious dialogue. Also, I actually care about the people involved here. Even if there are many, many characters in this show, there's time set aside to give the audience a sense of who they are, what their goals are, and what their fighting styles are. The character interactions aren't restricted to conversations about philosophy or whatever, and I particularly like the interactions between Mordred and her master. And Seg and Jean d'Arc are so cute, I ship it! Anyway, the relationship between Achilles and Chiron is interesting, since we haven't seen master and student fight each other in this franchise. And while Seg and Jean are the cutest couple, I think Glasses Coon and Frankenstein are really, really adorable. Oh, and the fights and character designs are out of this world too. A1 Gochers are proving themselves to be animation gods yet again, and who cares if they go off model a few times, that's the overall experience of rapid motion. The music accompanies the action perfectly, and the sound design really emphasizes the scale and epicness of the transpiring action. Overall, it's a fun experience, nothing too deep or complex, but it's the only Fate series that seems to realize its inherent ridiculousness and takes advantage of it. What's there not to like? An action-packed, exciting experience? Seriously? A good fourth of the show was spent chasing Jack the Ripper, who, by the way, has a dreadful character design. I don't care about the gender swapping, but you could go for something more dignified than what we got. Regardless of that, the servants still spend most of their time talking instead of fighting. It falls into the same traps the other Fate series do, except for Fate Zero, since Fate Zero at least had interesting things to say. Speaking of interesting, are these characters really that interesting to you? There are so many, and while granted it's better handled than most large casts, their motivations and personalities are so bare-boned that it's hard to really get attached to them. The only real exception is Mordred, but that's because her backstory is the only one to get a decent amount of attention. Oh, and while the interactions between Seg and Jean d'Arc are cute, did they really do anything to advance Jean's character? I get that Seg is supposed to be bland since he's a homunculus learning how to be a human, and it is interesting to see how Seg interprets the world and how Jean d'Arc helps him, but she gets close to no development. That's wrong! We know that she still believes in humanity in spite of what they did to her. That's important. And we learned that through conversations she has with Sig. You can't criticize something without being fair. Oh, how unique a character trait. Guess I couldn't remember that in between the huge blast of Inception blongs that made me want to cut my ears off. Well, how else do you expect magic explosions to sound? You may have a point there, but does it have to be the same sound at the same volume level every single time? I'm surprised my eardrums haven't caved in on themselves yet. Well, explosions aren't supposed to be a pleasant listening experience. It adds to the realism for me. Realism? In a show about servants coming back from the past to fight each other with superpowers? Realism doesn't apply to this universe. I suppose that's true, though the lack of realism is what makes the show ridiculously fun. In what other show would Vlad the Destroyer turn into a vampiric monster that unleashes a whole ton of vampires that the heroes have to fight off? Yeah, Fate Apocrypha does have moments that are the best kind of stupid, but the show has a tonal problem as a result. In Kill la Kill, in contrast, the music, aesthetics, and dialogue all create this strange world where ridiculousness is inherent to its functionality. But in Fate Apocrypha, it tries to have serious conversations and then throws ridiculous anime-esque stuff at us. Like Jack the Ripper's character would be perfect in something that's fully ridiculous, but then the show tries to create a serious character arc for Sieg where he questions whether life is even worth living. It makes the show feel weightless because there's no internal consistency. That's why it's hard to truly care about what's going on. You could say the same thing about Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, and yet you'll still defend that show to the death. Yeah, it's because Cabaneri had good enough animation, direction, and sound design to distract from its narrative and tonal inconsistencies. Fate Apocrypha doesn't have that. Are you blind? The animation itself is impressive, and some of the fight choreography is great. But have you noticed that the art direction is actually trash? It's hard to tell what's actually happening in most of the shots, and when the characters go off model, they really go off model. I think it's a consequence of the overly complex character designs and the nature of A1 Pictures' work ethic. At least Ufotable knows how to stage an action scene. But these fights are supposed to be chaotic. For the tight production schedule, I think this turned out great. Still doesn't mean it compares to Mob Psycho 100, One Punch Man, The Best of My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, Kekai Sensen, any of the other Fate series, including the Dean production. Okay, point taken. Although I find it ironic that we're criticizing animation, then we're not even animated that well. Well, you're comparing a high-budget, high-profile anime produced by many people to something produced by a very inexperienced first-time animator with a single drawing tablet. Okay, I guess I'm starting to understand where you're coming from, but what exactly did you expect from Fate Apocrypha anyway? What did you want to get out of it? I wanted something good. I didn't get that. Okay, I understand, but you even admit to there being good stuff in it. It doesn't excuse the show from being a messy, overstuffed dumpster fire, though. Look, I'm not denying that. I know the story is overstuffed, particularly in the beginning, and that the show was too ambitious for its own good. It's impossible to fully develop 20 plus characters in 25 episodes. Simplification is necessary, which unfortunately kills any real complexity. Except, I went in expecting that, just based on the promotional material and my previous experiences with other shows. Oh, and the good parts, like Sieg and Jean, the ridiculously cool action scenes, and the fact that I actually got what I wanted out of a Fate series for once, is what made it a positive experience for me overall. I acknowledge its flaws, but can still enjoy it. Well, I acknowledge its flaws and still think it's a dumpster fire, but I think I understand. If you can look past all its problems, then yeah, it's a really fun show that has some fairly interesting character dynamics. I just think the show would have benefited from a sharper focus on its strengths, and didn't worry so much about developing every single character that shows up. Well, thanks for hearing me out. Thanks for hearing me out. I'm still mad you made me sit through this dumpster fire, though. Oh, are you?!